Now that we've gotten the bad stuff out of the way, time we talk about the good stuff of 2023. Hello, you weird, beautiful movie lovers. My name is Louie, aka Movie Phantom, and today we are talking about the best movies of 2023. Now that, we have gotten the worst movies out of the way, finally, now it is my favorite movies of the entire year that I have seen. I know it's a stupid excuse, but I didn't see them because I don't know, I just didn't. I'm currently catching up on them at the moment, and or UK releases, because if so, then I'm pretty sure something like Poor Things or The Iron Claw or The Zone of Interest would probably be on here as well. But I will have to wait a little bit, sadly. But even though there are some movies on here that are coming out in the UK in 2024, I still managed to see about 164 movies, that won't be fully soon, but, because I am catching up on them, and so, yeah. But anyways, with that said, let's get into the list. Before we do that, I'm just gonna mention other movies that I saw this year and that I really like. These are movies that are both A and A minuses to me, and there was a lot, actually. So, here are the honorable mentions. Starting off with A Fire, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, The Artifice Girl, Asteroid City, Babylon, Beau is Afraid, Bottoms, Fair Play, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, How to Have Sex, The Killer, Leave the World Behind, Love Life, Maestro, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, May December, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Nimona, Pearl, Saltburn, South Park Joining the Pandaverse and Not Suitable for Children, Suzume, Talk to Me, Tar, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, When Evil Lurks, Women Talking, The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, and Wonka. Hey everyone, editing, Louie, here. I didn't include still a Michael J. Fox movie because I hadn't seen it, but I watched it last night, and so I'm gonna place it here, I guess. So, still a Michael J. Fox sorry. It's really great. It's my favorite documentary of the year so far, anyways, from what I've seen, but, it's early in the morning, so, I'm gonna finish, this. Those are my honorable mentions off the year, and with that said, let's get into the list. Starting off the list at number 10 is an anime movie that came out last year, but I'm counting it on here because it came out in the UK, and I'm still punching myself for not seeing it in theaters, so I have the Blu-ray so I can finally rewatch it again. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, a sequel that did not need to be this good or hit this hard, both animation-wise, which is probably better than any Disney and Pixar movie combined. The voice cast, once again, with Antonio Banderas playing the best performance he has as this character. Amazing characters, both old and new. An amazing story that could be a simple story, but in and of itself, they do so much more with it. All of it is so good. There's not a single thing that they didn't just say, okay, let's take the easy step with it. I mean, genuinely, this is probably the most surprising movie of the entire decade for me, because I did not expect to love it this much. I was expecting to like it, but not this much, where I would actually say it is the best Shrek movie, and is rivaling with my personal favorite TIMEMARKS movie, The Prince of Egypt. And number 9 on the list, we got another movie that did not need to be this good, Barbie, which I personally loved myself, even with a lot of stupid controversy, like Ben Shapiro definitely roasting this movie. For real though, Barbie was just the movie we all needed. It was the hit of the summer and is the highest grossing movie of the entire year, as well as basically breaking records with the box office in of itself. And honestly, it's well deserved. A movie about Barbie did not need to be this good, but Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach delivered, and Margot Robbie gave a tremendous performance in here. Ryan Gosling is the best Ken possibly. We need I'm Just Ken to win Best Original Song. I am hoping for it, as well as a live performance of him singing it at the Oscars. I mean, genuinely, if so, that would be magical. I don't care if they mess it up anyways. Just hearing him sing it himself live would just be amazing. America Ferrera was surprisingly amazing, honestly, and does rival those two at times, but the movie itself does have its heart, and even though it is a movie about empowering women, it actually does a lot more than that in my eyes anyways. I love this movie so much. I have seen it 3 times, and I watched it in IMAX, which, may I just say, it sucks it didn't get released in IMAX, so it was only for, 1 day, which really sucks, because it was just perfect seeing it in IMAX more than I was expecting it to be. But even with that, this movie is amazing. Probably the best movie based on a toy IP. Maybe I need to think that again, but even with that, this movie is amazing. I absolutely loved it. It is the hit of the summer, and it is well deserved. And number 8, we got probably the best action movie of the year, John Wick Chapter 4. Now, personally for me, I am a recent John Wick fan. I watched the movies for the first time preparing for this, and I still need to catch up with The Continental, even though I haven't heard great things about that. But even with that, this movie was an experience. This is a nearly 3-hour movie. It kind of feels like a video game at times. John Wick has not... He can't be human. But even with that, this movie is amazing. It is big, and it is amazing. The runtime itself is well deserved. We go all across the world with him, and they deliver a great story for it. While I am still mixed on them making a John Wick 5 with how it ended, I could kind of see it working, though with the ending itself, I don't fully know how that could work. But I'm hoping if they do, then they can make it work. But for the meantime, anyways, I don't want them to. But even with that, with this movie, it is amazing, like I said. The action goes so hard with it, with some of the best stunts in any movie ever, not just action, but also just movies in general. Keanu Reeves is great as his character also, and Bill Skarsgård gives an amazing performance as the villain, and the final actor, and I mean the final hour of this entire movie was genuinely an experience, and is possibly the best final hour in film in a long time, or at least from what I can think of anyways, with everything going insane, with the stairs, just him going over cars, and with a Minority Report kind of shot. It was amazing. I really need to rewatch it. I've only seen it once, and I am desperate to rewatch it. I need to get that 4K off it, but in the meantime, anyways, I do not see this changing as my personal favorite in the John Wick franchise, and I am very curious to see what the movie Ballerina, which is the spin-off of it, would be like. Number 7, we got a legend of animation returning, The Boy and the Heron, the most recent movie from Hayao Miyazaki, and is probably not going to be his last. When will he retire? I mean, really, he's almost 90, but even with that, he is dedicated to his craft, and you can see it right here. And I actually do wish this would be his final movie, because it just has the perfect send-off with delivering what fans love of Studio Ghibli, but also a personal story for him on trying to live up because of him creating one of, if not the best animation studio, and one of the best studios in general. And you can just feel the passion he felt while making it, and you can tell how much dedication he wanted in here. You can see how much he loves just this medium in general, and how much he is trying to live up to it. And honestly, The Boy and the Heron is great with that, though I do prefer the original title, How Do You Live? But even with all of that said, this movie is beautiful. It is weird and confusing at times, and while I am a little mixed on the ending still, I do still love it. The animation is some of the best ever. The voice acting is also amazing. The direction with this world we go in, and just the magic in here with all the curiosity you have in it is just amazing. I would love to explore this world so much because of how magical, weird it is, and it is amazing. The Heron himself is hilarious. I loved his performance and his animation in general. I also loved his character design. This was an amazing movie. It was an experience seeing in IMAX. I really want to see it again in the English dub to see how it is, mainly because of that voice cast, especially Robert Pattinson. But still, this movie was amazing. I loved this so much. Easily one of my favorite movies of the entire year. And number 6, we got another movie that did not need to go this hard once again. Godzilla -1, which is already the best Godzilla movie. I mean, genuinely, this movie gave me everything I wanted out of a Godzilla movie: entertainment, horror, and all of that, but it actually gave me a lot more than I expected with the characters. In fact, the characters were what I preferred over Godzilla, which shocked me. The visuals themselves are just astonishing, made on a budget of 15 million, and in fact less than 15 million. It looks better than most Hollywood movies combined. Even stuff that do look great, I'm not sure it could live up to stuff like this. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can feel sometimes that it is CGI, but even with that, it doesn't look out of place, and I loved it. The music was amazing, and hearing that original theme was just beautiful, and the atomic breath scene. What else do I need to say? Probably the most horrifying scene of the entire year, with another scene in a movie on this list that I'll get to soon. But I absolutely loved this movie so much. It was amazing, an experience. I've seen it twice now, and oh my god, it is amazing. Some of the best sound design I've heard all year. I really hope this gets nominated for that. It is amazing. I love this movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it now. It is phenomenal. It is amazing. I love this movie so much. I cannot stop praising about it. I mean, genuinely, what else do I need to say? What everyone else has said. It's amazing. I love it. Obviously, best horror movie of the year. Just to say now, every single movie from here and up, I would give an A+. They probably wouldn't be perfect. In fact, there would be some issues that I have with them. But even with that, I would give all of these movies an A+. And starting off with the directorial debut from Celine Song, Past Lives, which is probably one of the most devastating movies of the year. But even with that, has so much beauty inside of it. Greta Lee in here is phenomenal. She deserves an Oscar nomination, and if she won it, I wouldn't be sad or mad. In fact, I think she'd deserve it so much. In fact, I'm actually rooting for her with it. And she is amazing in here. The entire cast themselves are incredible. The cinematography in general, like with the final shot and that with the music, is just masterful. It had a hit in my gut that just made me want to cry. I mean, genuinely, this movie is both just so depressing, but at the same time so happy. It has so much emotion with it, and it balances out perfectly. The pacing, well, maybe some issues with it and some sudden editing, even with that, I can just ignore it and I can just love this movie for what it is. A beautiful masterpiece that is both quiet and loud with how it tells its story. And by loud, I'm not saying like as loud as a bagpipe like I hear in Scotland over here, but you know what I mean in general, hopefully. I'm not even sure I know what I mean, but genuinely, this is one of my favorite movies of the entire year, one of my favorite A24 movies. It's heartbreaking, it made my heart break, but also warmed it. I love this movie so much. And number 4, we got the 3.5-hour masterpiece from Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon. Which, yes, it is 3.5 hours long, and I never felt bored. In fact, I was always invested in it. And while I did feel the runtime itself, I do think it worked with it in general. This is genuinely an experience. Seeing this movie in IMAX, in probably the biggest IMAX screen I've been in my life so far, was an experience, to say the least. It is genuinely a movie I would call perfect. The acting in here from Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Jesse Plemons, even Brendan Fraser, but the main standout here, Lily Gladstone, without a doubt. She deserves to win Best Supporting Actress. She is outstanding in this movie. I mean, genuinely. She is more quiet than I expected, but even with that, she is just phenomenal. The sound design is also some of the best I have ever heard in the entire year. It may be the best, I don't know, but even with that, I loved this movie so much. It was amazing. So goddamn good. It's thrilling, and with the imagery you get here, it is terrifying. I love this movie. This is already a new classic for me. I need to rewatch it desperately because I loved it. It's so good. It's an amazing movie. I mean, I cannot stop praising it enough. It is perfect in my eyes. The cinematography, acting, sound, score, all of it. I don't care. I loved it. I don't care how long it is. It is amazing. I actually ended up wanting more from it, in fact. I mean, genuinely, I probably could have watched at least 30 more minutes, honestly, which I'm glad they didn't do. But even with that, that just shows you how much I love this movie, and probably how much you all love it as well. And I love this movie. I'm going on way too long repeating myself, but genuinely, check it out if you haven't yet. Next up, we got the other 3-hour masterpiece from Christopher Nolan with Oppenheimer, which was the biggest event for me anyways with Barbenheimer, which was an experience, and Oppenheimer just floored me like mostly every single Nolan movie does. This is genuinely one of his best, obviously. I love this movie. Cillian Murphy, seeing him as the lead in a Nolan movie when he has worked with him for so long and has always been in a side role, it was amazing, to say the least. He is outstanding. He is unrecognizable in here. If you would say he played Scarecrow in Batman Begins, he looks unrecognizable to me. I mean, genuinely. Probably it's with age, obviously, but still, even with that, he is amazing. He gets lost into this character. His performance, you can tell how much he really wanted to be in this and just how much he took it seriously. All of it was amazing. The sound design, I mean, the bomb scene, why have I forgotten the name off it, but genuinely amazing. Like, I still remember the first time I watched that scene and just being stoned. Like, literally. It's like I couldn't breathe for a second. Like, the entire theater went just had no sound. It was genuinely incredible. It was an experience. The 3-hour runtime was amazing. I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it's a long movie, and I did feel its runtime at times, so even with that, I wasn't bothered with it. I mean, genuinely, it is amazing in my eyes. I really need to rewatch it on 4K. I loved it so much. I loved this movie. I'm gonna stop repeating myself right now, but still, I loved it. At number 2 is probably the most heartwarming and just most cozy and already a new Christmas classic for years to come, The Holdovers, which probably has Paul Giamatti's best performance, and I would kinda like him to win Best Actor over Cillian Murphy. I mean, genuinely, the more I think about it, genuinely he deserves it. This is a movie that looks and sounds like it was from the 70s, all of it. And if you would probably tell me, I would probably believe you if you were saying that. I mean, genuinely, it looks outstanding. I mean, genuinely. But even with that said, the movie itself has so much heart to it. I loved all 3 of these characters. Paul Giamatti himself was incredible. I absolutely loved him, his character. He worked so much. Dominic Sessa, who is which is his first main movie, and he does an incredible job. I loved his character a lot. I think he did a great job. But also, I may just say, maybe the biggest standout, I don't know, but Divine Joy Randolph, who plays by far maybe my favorite character. I don't know, maybe. I need to maybe rewatch it. I don't know. But, I mean, genuinely, her performance was incredible. I loved her character so much. She was incredible in here. I really hope she gets nominated. Well, I do think there are better performances than her in the year. I do still think she did an outstanding job. Like, all of them in here. All of it, the score, it's just so good. It's like I got the biggest hug in my life that I literally didn't want it to end. I mean, genuinely, and that ending, perfect. I mean, genuinely. And it sucks that this comes out in the UK in January, which admittedly it is kind of a good New Year's movie in general. And unlike most Christmas movies, I would probably rewatch this any time that wasn't even Christmas, even in summer or October, which genuinely I don't really feel like it's right for me to do, but here I could watch this movie so much. It is genuinely amazing. I love this movie. This is already in my top 5 favorite Christmas movies. It may even be my favorite sometime soon. I don't know. That's how much I love this movie. But with that said, there is only one movie, the most anticipated movie for me of all time. I've waited 5 years from a movie that changed my life, as well as the animation medium in general, and film in general. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. As a lifelong animation and Spider-Man fan, this movie was outstanding. This was like seeing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Like, literally. I mean, someone said this on Letterboxd, like it was experiencing Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And honestly, it is literally like that. The animation itself is incredible. It is genuinely mind-blowing, and it shows what animation has become now in recent years, and I absolutely love that, honestly. I mean, genuinely, with TV shows, stuff like Arcane, and from what I've seen of Blue Eye Samurai, I still need to watch that. I'll watch it soon, but not mentioned with just storytelling in general, and this movie pushes what I thought could be possible. It genuinely floored me. I couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing and what I was taking in. I mean, genuinely, it is outstanding. I have always been a Sony Pictures Animation fan with their early work like Hotel Transylvania and Surf's Up, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which may be my favorite of their early works. And then the Emoji Movie came along, and then they redeemed themselves with Spider-Verse. I mean, genuinely, okay, I'm sorry for going on like that. But aside from the outstanding animation, like I said with the story in general, it is amazing. It's able to balance out fan service for Spider-Man fans and just many more in general with an amazing story. It has the perfect amount of heart in here as well as thrilling moments. And the villain himself, the Spot, was genuinely both humorous, like he was hilarious at times, but also the most terrifying thing I have ever seen in my life. I mean, genuinely. He genuinely terrified me at times. I am not even joking. And in general, the movie itself has so much stakes, like I was saying. It has incredible action scenes. The soundtrack was incredible. I know people were complaining about the sound in the first 20 minutes. Well, I do get that. I didn't really have a problem with that. Not mention, well, what? They apparently played the sound wrong, which is kind of hilarious, but still, I didn't really have a problem with that. I did kind of hear it myself, but even with that, I do understand. But in general, it was amazing. I love the soundtrack for this movie, obviously, and Daniel Pemberton ups his game here. I love him as a composer, stuff like the first Spider-Verse movie, but also with more recent stuff like The Bad Guys, which I thought he did a really great job with, and Brian and Charles, which is so underrated. David Earl, text me, please. But anyways, I mean, it just goes above and beyond. I love the score for this movie. I mean, genuinely, it does rival Oppenheimer with me, and while I may prefer Oppenheimer's score, in here in general, outstanding. I mean, genuinely. All of it, the beats just match every single thing. And the OST itself was amazing. Hummingbird, I mean, genuine. I mean, Annihilate. Why am I forgetting but anyway. I feel embarrassed. But really, though, I feel like I'm going on a little too long. Overall, I am very excited for the sequel after that massive cliffhanger, which genuinely I want to see what happens next. That was supposed to come out in March of 2024. Thank you, Lord and Miller. I now hate you. But still, I am so excited for it, and I love this movie. It is perfect. It is genuinely a masterpiece to me. Both movies are. I hold them near and dear to my heart, and I love this movie so much. It's amazing. A+, obviously. I love it. I mean, I'm gonna stop talking right now, but still. So, those are my top 10 favorite movies of the entire year. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me what your favorites are of the year that you saw. Let's agree, disagree down below in the comments. Come and tell me. My 2023 ranking will be coming soon. My next video will be for my review for What If Season 2. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope you like my list. I can't wait for my 2023 ranking. I'm still kind of stressing about that. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. And as always, stay awesome.